What does it mean to recklessly trust yourself? All right, so we're going to deep dive into a conversation all about self trust, what that even means, and how we can begin really cultivating that in our lives. So, for those of you who don't know me, maybe this is your first time coming across my page. Hi, my name is Kaylin Rutkowski. I am an embodiment facilitator, a somatic practitioner, a modern day priestess, like whatever it is that you want to call me, but I really specialize in the feminine arts and energetics. My jam is really helping people to awaken their own intuitive wisdom, to become rooted in the embodiment of their essence, and really just find the courage to walk their soul led life, okay? And so much of embodying that and deepening in that has to do with how much you trust yourself. And honestly, this is something that I've been contemplating a lot this week because I'll just be completely vulnerable and transparent with you guys. I was offered an opportunity and I let outside voices, I let my family, I let my friends, I let everybody take the leading role in what my decision was going to be. And the message that came through this unfolding was that I didn't trust myself. And I'm going to go into what I mean around this. But first, let's talk about trusting ourselves and what that really means. What I see happen all the time, especially with my clients, in myself, as I just shared, just people in my world, is that the number one block to really creating a life beyond your wildest dreams, everything that you've ever wanted, right? Those big desires, those things that you feel like will never happen, is so dependent on your capacity to truly trust yourself, to listen to your intuition, to listen to your heart, to listen to your womb, and allowing that to be your guide. Not allowing the mind, not allowing the ego, not allowing, the masses, the naysayers, everybody outside of you, but how deeply are you connected and in tune and calibrated to your inner guidance system? Okay. And I feel that so many people make their trust contingent on evidence, right? Like, once I see XYZ or once this happens, then I'll trust. But truly, like, that's not trusting yourself. That's taking what is here and what is now and finding evidence and believing that it's true. But trust really is our capacity and our ability to believe in the unseen, right? To believe in things that may be intangible or up in the ethers, up in the spiritual world, your imagination, whatever you resonate with. And what is our ability to trust that vision, to trust that voice, to fully believe that this is possible for me and this is what I'm destined to do? Okay. And until you really embody this state of recklessly trusting yourself, even without evidence, even if everyone in your life thinks you're crazy, what is your ability to deeply trust and listen to yourself? Because your ability to do that is going to open the doors to everything that you desire. Every opportunity in my life that I've had to deepen in my resiliency, to deepen in my trust, opens the doors to everything that I've desired to experience. And every time that I've had these intuitive knowings, I've had these feelings, and I've tried to bypass my body and bypass my inner guidance, bypass my intuition, things usually go fucking bananas. I'm just going to be honest with you. Spirit is always like coming and giving me a little lovingly slap in the face. And it's like, why did you not trust yourself? Okay. So I'm going to do a little story time. I was offered a new position and a new role with a team that seemed to be a life-changing opportunity, right? 6 figures plus. I mean, on paper, right? It looked to be something that everyone would want, right? Can you resonate with that? With almost abandoning what you truly desire because you feel like or believe that it should look like this or it needs to be like this in order to be successful, in order to be accepted, in order to have some sense of worth, right? I'm sure you guys can all feel me. And so many times we lead with these shoulds and have tos or expectations from our external environment, and we let that be our guide. And then we wonder why we're burnt out. We wonder why we're miserable. We wonder why we're not fulfilled, why we're not lit up, why we don't feel pleasure, right? It's because we're not even connected to our essence. We're not in alignment with who we are and who we're here to be, okay? So when this opportunity came and it moved pretty quickly, I was offered the position, things were going, and instantly I felt ill. I felt sick. There was this deep pull in my womb. Almost like I felt like I was going to throw up. And I was telling people close to me, I'm like, something about this doesn't feel right. And I knew it was right. I knew in my heart, I knew in my body, I knew in my womb that this wasn't it. And instead of trusting that, and this another thing, side caveat, you guys, your intuitive guidance isn't going to make sense. It's not going to be logical, So to me, to say no to that opportunity, to my friends, to my family, to my partner, to everyone in my world, it seems crazy, right? Everyone's like, why would you say no? Just explore it. The money, it could be a great opportunity. And I allowed people outside of me, outside of my heart, outside of my soul to tell me what was best for me. Okay. That was the number one mistake I made, because in my heart, I knew it wasn't right. It didn't feel right. And you guys, this is kind of slightly nuanced too. I will put just like a little pin on this, because sometimes stepping into alignment isn't going to be the thing that always feels the best, okay? It's not going to be always the thing that's the most comfortable, but this was different. It wasn't a state of uncomfortability or unknown. It was like a sheer body knowing that this wasn't right for me. And because I didn't trust myself, the unfolding of this opportunity, I ended up getting money stolen from me, just all kinds of crazy things, okay? And when I was really sitting with spirit, and I'm like, what was this? Like, why was this happening? And spirit was like, Kaylin, you didn't trust yourself, right? You had the feelings. And I had this feeling for like a week straight, you guys, and this was showing me that there's still parts of me that I don't trust. That intuitive part of me, that woo-woo part of me, that just clear, cognizant knowing that I have. And for some reason in that moment, I felt that people outside of me knew better than me, right? And the reason why I wanted to come on and really share this is that so many of you here are highly intuitive. You're highly gifted. You're plugged in, you're tapped in, you're turned on. But so many times, us intuitive people don't trust that part of us. And maybe that's because in upbringing, in childhood, it wasn't valued, or, it was told that it was wrong. There are so many things intuitively that I picked up on as a kid that, my parents were like, no, everything's fine, nothing's wrong. So it's like this deep program and conditioning that it isn't safe to trust that part of ourselves, that it isn't safe to lead with that part of ourselves. And if you're really here to be a conscious leader, to be a blueprint changer, to literally shake shit up on this planet in the grid, you have to drop into deep trust within yourself. You have to start recklessly trusting yourself, regardless of what that looks like. If it looks crazy, if it looks bananas, if nobody understands, because every time that you say yes, and every time that you lean in, and every time you trust yourself, you open up more doors, you open up key codes, you open up opportunities, relationships that will lead you into deeper alignment, okay? But it all comes from your ability to drop out of your head, into your heart, into your womb, into your body, and allowing that beautiful light to be your guide. Because if you're tapped into that God spark, if you're tapped into that inner radiance and you lead from that place, you'll never be misguided. You'll never be misled, and it will always lead you to exactly where you meant to be. So what is it costing you to not fully trust yourself, to trust your desires, to those little nudges that you're getting? And just give yourself the permission to live a life that nobody understands, because there is the most beauty, fulfillment, and alignment.